Okay.
Yeah, I didn't personally tell you but I did say it. Well, I didn't personally say it in an email. I just told you on video. I said, hey, look, if you wanted this kind of treatment, then you'll get it. Simple as that.
Oh, you guys slammed me good. I got to the point where I already told Chuck, I was like, look, I'm getting hit hard here. I can't take this anymore. And they're telling the truth about me, and I can't do nothing about it because it is the truth, and I'm not doing it no more.
Yeah, because you got to look at it this way. Joe and me, we talk on a regular basis. And I said to Joe, I got this guy's channel shut down. I got a strike on him. What did I do?
Joe got me back. He said if eBay's a joke had a helper in a video, and that really got me. That actually did get me going a little bit. But I was like, Joe had every right to do that because of the stuff I was doing.
That's it. And you realize,
and then that's what eBay's jokes. Oh well, he got you back. Look what the video that he did on you about you being my personal friend. I was like, well, it's not like it wasn't true for a while. I mean, honestly, I was doing things I shouldn't be doing. And I go, you shouldn't be doing them anymore. You need to stop. Take all your stuff down. Stop harassing people. I'm doing it. And then I'm going to have to come out and publicly apologize to all these people out of all the videos I've done. Because I don't want to live like that. I want to make friends online. I don't want to make enemies.
Right.
Because you're making enemies because that's easy for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you can turn it around if you want and stop bugging people and start turning around you have a choice to turn it around.
I personally think that if he stops this kind of what he's doing, then we will stop. But it doesn't excuse him from what he's already done.
No, and I told him that. I was like, look, it doesn't excuse me for the stuff I've done.
That's right, because all of us.
But I'd rather be responsible and say, hey, I'd rather people know what I've done in the public eye, so I can apologize and take the later embarrassment of maybe being arrested or being accused along with you in court, because I don't want to go there.
Right. Exactly. And you surely you know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you come forward and start stating the truth, you could pretty much let go.
Wait till you have nightmares of FBI officers coming to your door.
I don't fear any of that.
Because because of him,
you had nightmares.
One day I'm going to have a knock at my door.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to like it.
Well, like I said, and I've said this before, the only contact that I had from any police officer was the phone call about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. And I told the officer flat out, I said, officer or detective, I do not own a gun. I don't have access to bullets. I don't even have a permit in the state of Florida registered. So what makes you think that I am going to go to Detroit and pull a trigger and kill him?
Right. Well, I'll be honest. Doc is the one that actually brought that up to me when that video came out.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, I was like, well, it does kind of say, it sounds like this and it sounds like this in the beginning. And then you came out and was like, hey, I said bone, I didn't say bullet. And then all of a sudden, eBay's a joke's going to put
bullet, because he knows
that report out.
Yep.
See, that's where he's sick. He does things and doesn't think about them. He was on the news 3 times and got nowhere.
Right.
Rob Walchuk, he's in the court, and that order, whatever restraining order, the judge just revoked it right there on the news.
Right.
And that's when he started doxing eBay, or eBay's joke started putting Rob Walchuk stuff, saying, they're following me in my apartment. I was like, I think you have more than just him following you.
I think you have.
I think they're tracing your stuff, dude. They want to know what you're doing. You are on the grid. You are on the grid.
Yeah, you're on the chopping block. He knows it.
Not just with the news. I think you have cyber police monitoring what you do. They got to know you're making fake proxy accounts.
Yeah. Hands down.
Just to harass Joe, you, anybody, me. I mean, he hasn't really harassed me. He just put my stuff out there to tick me off. I was like, well, you
Still,
already did it anyway.
It's still a form of harassment because at any time that you had left him or were going, he still had but he blackmailed you flat out. You could say,
oh, yeah. I'm not denying that some of the stuff I did on my own. I did.
Right.
But some of the stuff, he's like, if you don't do this, and I know he had to do that to Doc.
Yep.
Because at one point he's like, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I was like, baloney.
Yeah.
If you tell us if we don't, then you'll do this. I was like, and so I was like, I just stopped. I wanted to see if he would do it. And I was like, of course he did it. Because he's mad because he don't have anybody that wants to follow his harassing activities and criminal activities and stuff that he does with people.
And I can honestly speak for the YouTube community that I've been on YouTube for about 10 years. As soon as I got a computer, I was on it. But I didn't really start making any videos till I started the Queens New Yorker, which was only about, going into its second season. And yes, there will be a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth season, jokester. So, just because you got my channel shut down one time, keep trying to shut it down. I'll just come back and make another one and another one of the same things.
Right.
It's not going to stop me from telling, because he's accused me of plagiarism. Look, I tell everybody where to go to get these to get the information. Okay? It's being cited. I'm citing an author on like that.
Right.
I mean, if you look at any of my videos, and I have one of them up there right now, you look at that. Okay, so I'm reading off Wikipedia. But Wikipedia is a free site.
Yep.
No one author...
Internet.
Right. No one author claims the information.
Yep, you can add information to it. If I think you got to become a member.
That's right. And that's why they get to with donations and stuff. Right. You can constantly update it if the information needs to be updated or is inaccurate. Well, not saying that it's not accurate, but it might be information that's not been updated for about 10 years and needs to be refreshed.
Right.
But that's where I get most of my information from. I mean,
yep.
I don't know about...
I love that website. I go on there a lot.
Yeah, Wikipedia has been my go-to to talk about old school toys and games. I mean, there's a lot of them out there.
Oh, yeah, they have a lot of information on... that's where I get my information from, the old records.
Right.
Yeah, I used to sell my records on eBay, but then eBay started not really doing well with that kind of media.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're changing into more of a retail platform, which they've done in the past few years.
Yeah.
Selling, more newer stuff.
That's right. Okay, friends, if we still got any more questions for Keith, type them in there. I don't think we had any more there. We'll see. You got any more questions, friends? Please type them in the social stream part of the website, and we will definitely ask Keith what the question is. But hands down, Keith, I really appreciate you coming forward with this. I have tremendous respect for the way you are handling yourself now, because I always thought, okay, it sounds like he's being manipulated by eBay as a joke. At first, I'm thinking, okay, if this guy wants to break the law, if he wants to give up his freedom, then he's got some problems of his own, and he just flat out doesn't care. But when I realized, I'm thinking, this guy is really knowledgeable, and I'm referring to you. He knows what he's talking about, because you yourself, when you were talking about, when you were making videos on how to be successful on Amazon and all those websites, I actually watched a lot of your videos that had nothing to do with bashing us. And I'm thinking,
right.
This guy knows a lot. This guy knows a lot.
Yeah, and that's what I want to get into. I want to be a credible person that can put out credible information for people that want to learn how to sell online or how to build websites, or, I want to be a credible person. I don't need to be doing illegal things to harass people, because that don't get you anywhere.
It doesn't get you anywhere. It just
That
gives you a
gets
lot
you
of
on the
headache.
news.
Yeah.
And then you are done forever.
Yeah, you're targeted. And then your privacy is pretty much, you'll have no privacy after that. Because then everybody's either calling you, emailing you, threatening you with death threats too. And I don't think, I don't think anybody wants that kind of treatment unless they are psychotically, mentally disturbed and think that's okay to do that.
Well, actually, here's a question that came in. It says, are you going to make any more YouTube videos exposing stalker? eBay's a joke. Joe, I think.
Didn't see it come through. How'd you get that?
It just popped up.
Huh.
I would say I could, but what would be credible about it? I mean, I think this is enough exposure for him right now. Having somebody that followed him and pushed me to the point where I didn't want to go through his illegal activity anymore, because I was starting to get a guilty conscience and said, look, I can't treat people like that.
Yeah.
Or, civil society, normally we're all good people and we get along, not unless there's a war from country to country, and then we go and do what we can to get those matters situated. That's why we have militaries.
Right.
But we have what's called an assembled military against eBay's a joke, and he don't like it because there's a problem with him. He likes to harass people, and he has to stop.
And
now he's going to call me a spy and all kinds of stuff. I'm not a spy. I was a flip-flopper for a while.
And that's all you was.
But I'm coming clean and saying, look, I made the choice to stop, and I'm going to stop. I'm not doing your malicious destruction of badgering people because it's wrong. It's morally wrong, and it's against human nature to treat people like that. Not unless there's something wrong with you in the head. And I really believe there's a psychological flaw with this character.
Yeah.
I mean, he wore a mask, and he got caught, and he was on the news because he did wear a mask, but he got taken off the mask, and he still hides behind something he can't hide behind anymore. That tells me there's a screw loose.
And there's not any truth coming out of his mouth, because every time he talks, there's always a finger being pointed at someone else, and there's usually a threat behind it, or some insult to that matter.
Right, and I did enough, with me, exactly, especially with him. I did enough insults. I got fingers pointed at me. I'm like, I'm not going down this tunnel with you.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not being dragged down because I don't want to be dragged down. I want to be successful, and the only way to do that is to change, figure out a way to make amends with the people that now hate me online, or get a general respect so they don't hate me, and apologize to everybody.
Yep. And
hopefully they respect that apology, and even if you don't, I completely understand.
Yep. And I just saw the question come in, so you're gonna make more YouTube videos exposed. And I think I agree with that as much. You should, Keith. You know why? Because it'll prove to everybody, prove to those who didn't think you were, it'll ease up the image of flip-flopping, because now you are actually coming out with the credible information that you have basically worked. You put the pieces of the puzzle together, and I think it'll show Jokester that we are not going down for anyone, and there's more. There's always going to be more fighting against him than him against us.
Right.
I say if you want, make this a weekly thing. Come on to the show, and we'll do a weekly podcast like them scumbags do.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
You heard it, folks. A regular here on the Jason DeCanio show now is coming through. Keith, thank you very much for coming on tonight for the first crack of delving into what you know about eBay is a joke. And remember, friends, of course, keep your eye no matter what, on anything that happens to you. If you are involved in this, please come forward and start telling your story.